I was very interested in the way that we as a society perceive leadership. Most people feel that there needs to be leaders, and what is the role of the leader, and how do leaders come about? And there are many different ways we can elect leaders. They can self-appoint themselves. We can have a vote and do it by ballot. They take it at random, make anyone a leader, and so that's quite common. But I think that I am not very happy about the idea of a leader with status and leading other people. I prefer to see a leader as a facilitator, which I think is a totally different role and a better role for people to take. Therefore, for instance, you take a group of people, and instead of directing them and telling them what they should do, the group themselves have some sort of vision or direction in which they wish to go. And then you, as a facilitator, help them towards their goals. And we do that in so many ways. And we do it by group work, talking. We do that by individually finding out about what people think and what their aspirations are and their vision. And what we try and do is, within the facilitator tries to build a common vision, a common goal of where we want to go. It shouldn't be just the individual vision. And if the individual does have a vision, then it is important that they share this with people, other people, and explain quite clearly why they're doing it, what it's about, and what is needed. And not imposing, because if you want anything really to develop and happen, you have to take people with you. And you can only take people with you if they understand where you're going. Now, at the present, we have a sort of a haphazard leadership. You know, someone's appointed, and mainly they're there trying to deal with day-to-day problems and reacting to events. What we really need is people with vision. We need a vision of where we want to go. For instance, a vision of how we would like our transport system to work in this country, for instance. How would we like economics to work? How would we like agriculture and our land to be used? How would we like to be policed? How would we like to deal with people who commit crimes? So all this is are things that we as a community should decide. And why we decide that. I mean, if we came to a decision that all people should be punished who commit antisocial behaviour and we should lock them up, what is the implications for the people that we're locking up? What is the implications for society, the economics benefits, or the money that we spend? How does that benefit society? If we then say, well, the vision is that we don't want to lock anyone up, for instance, what we need is to stop antisocial behaviour, and then we need to look at how we can stop antisocial behaviour. How do we reach this? And we need then people to facilitate our objective to not have punishment. And that will mean research. It will mean talking to people, qualified people, talking and working out why people commit antisocial behaviour. It's a lot of work. But in the end, if we begin to be truthful in our society, we may find that people on the estates, for instance, feel very angry because they don't see a future for themselves. They look around and they see on television and around them people very wealthy in flash cars and, you know, living what they perceive as a rich life. And they're living in a daily struggle in a small flat somewhere in a high-rise. Yeah, of course, they feel that this is not fair. And it's this unfairness that I think we need to tackle. And you cannot tackle any problem unless you have a vision of where you want to go. And what we do, if we just tackle the immediate problem, then we create other problems because we don't see it as a whole. What we're doing is we're just reacting. So, and that's the same with policing. How would we want to have policing? And does it have to be that way? Nothing has to be as it is. We can change it. I mean, we could live in a world of paradise if we wanted to. We could have equity where people roughly earn the same money. I mean, and give them every job the same value. We could do that. But we tend to be more competitive. We tend to be more greedy, but that isn't the natural state of human beings. I have found in my experience that people are not greedy. There are many reasons for greed: insecurity, lack of self-worth, not feeling good about themselves, and feel driven that money will supplement the deficiencies that they have. And we need to change that. In my experience, there is a lot of compassion in people, a lot of generosity. This seems to be the natural state of people, altruistic and working together and helping people. I always notice anyway, in moments of crisis, if there's an accident, people are around helping, or someone has people are around and working together. And that seems to be much more normal state of affairs than the whole this idea of self, which doesn't bring happiness. Real happiness, it comes when you feel good about yourself and you feel good with others about the way that you're living your life. And that is about being generous, open-hearted and free, and certainly compassionate. So to realise objectives, we first of all need to know where we want and what we want from society. We don't talk about that. It's one of the strangest things. Here we are. We don't say, how would we like this world to be? How would we like these things to operate? And then we can work towards them. And you can't work towards something unless you have a vision. And then when you have a vision, you don't need leaders. What you need are facilitators. People who can ensure that happens, people who have the skills in organisation, statistics and so on. And what you do is you all work together. And that's one of the most interesting things that I find difficult in society, that everybody has particular skills. In the early days of the primitive society, I should imagine, that there were certain traits that the group needed to survive and progress. And so people develop with these certain traits. Some to be organisers, some to be facilitators, some to be good hunters, some to be good communicators, some to be good storytellers, and so on. So there are all these different skills, and within our society we have them. I notice whenever, and I shall talk about later, about doing leadership games, and the most surprising people come up as leaders, but then they act as facilitators, moving people forward and helping people to accomplish things. And so we need, that is one of the essential things that really our society is going to have to change if we're to make real progress and get out of this mess that we seem to have found ourselves in.